What's up, everybody? Ryan Thomas here on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. We are inching closer and closer to the NFL Draft, 2022's NFL Draft. And, of course, I told you guys Monday to Thursday leading up to what is the opening of the NFL Draft, the opening round one of the NFL Draft, that I would be here to give you guys coverage, give you my analysis on all things regarding the 2022 NFL Draft, and most importantly, the quarterbacks. Because every single draft, the quarterbacks are the main topic of discussion. The quarterback is the most important position in the game of football, and the National Football League, as it stands in 2022 and beyond, caters to the fact that the quarterback position is the most important position on any roster. So there are a few quarterbacks in this quarterback class that I'm going to discuss in this podcast episode, and I honestly feel that we're at a point in our, I guess you could say, draft week, where there's one discussion that will decide where the first quarterback lands. A discussion in regards to a player that is within the National Football League already. And I talked about this on the 24/7 Buffalo Fandemonium show yesterday with Scott and Swank, two of my buddies. Much appreciated to them for always having me on their shows. And check them out, of course. But Ian Rappaport reported today that the Carolina Panthers are not expected to trade for Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield prior to the first round of the NFL Draft. If they do it at all, Thursday has to play out first before any options are considered. Carolina picks 6th overall. In my mock draft as it stands right now, spoiler alert, in my mock draft as it stands right now, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Malik Willis 6th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft. And a lot of people can, disagree with me on that, saying that Malik Willis is not the best quarterback in this class, or that, hey, it's too early, that's a reach, this, that, or the other. Well, if Carolina doesn't, in fact, get Baker Mayfield, there is nothing that can tell me that they are sold. There's no single person that could tell me that they are sold on one Sam Darnold as the future quarterback of that franchise. Does that mean that they'll draft Malik Willis? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I am jumping to conclusions there a little bit. But to me, what it does mean is that it's not out of the realm of possibility. And when I look at the quarterback rankings of this draft, and this class in particular, this class has been highly disrespected, I think, by the media. And I'll tell you why. Every quarterback class always has one guy come out of the woodwork, whether he is as successful as a Josh Allen or as successful as a Lamar Jackson in terms of individual accolades that Jackson has accrued over his career. It remains to be seen that any of these guys can live up to that status. But I will say, it's not as if Kenny Pickett, Carson Strong, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, it's not as if those guys don't have any talent at all, as well as Sam Howell out of the University of North Carolina. It's not as if those guys have zero talent. It's just that they are not as talented coming out of college in comparison to the quarterback classes of years past. And what I will offer you is the simple fact that doesn't mean that not one of these guys will translate into an NFL quarterback. The key is finding the one that you think has the greatest chance at translating to the NFL. And to me, there is one guy that I really like in this quarterback class, and his name is Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. I think in terms of how he ran the offense that he was asked to run, few did it better prior to his injury, and some of the choices that he made in terms of participation leading into this NFL draft, not going to the scouting combine and not going to the Senior Bowl. I think the decision to not go to the scouting combine would have helped increase his draft stock a little bit more if he had had success throwing to receivers other than his own. But according to what I was just saying and what I referenced to, maybe Matt Corral declined going to the Combine due to his injury in the Sugar Bowl. Last season, Corral had a 67.9% completion percentage, 3,349 yards, and 20 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions. And it will be interesting to watch how well he transitions to this pro-style system at the next level. But I think the floor and the traits are there for Matt Corral to be appealing to multiple teams within this draft, including myself. And you could say Kenny Pickett is another one that you look at and say, this guy's accurate. This guy has timing, anticipation, pocket presence that does translate to the big leagues. Malik Willis, I mentioned as a 6th overall pick, possibility of the Carolina Panthers. And I say that due in large part to the fact that he does have the athletic ability to translate to the position in today's quarterbacking of the NFL, the Mahomes, the Allens. Mobility is massive for a quarterback in today's NFL. You have to have it. Those are the 3 quarterbacks that I would not dare sleep on heading into this 2022 NFL Draft. For more 2022 NFL Draft coverage, keep it right here on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'll be back on live to view on YouTube and Facebook, as well to listen on all audio podcasting platforms. Subscribe, follow, like at Ryan Thomas Take on Twitter and Instagram. That is my take, one of many takes on the 2022 NFL Draft. Don't sleep on this quarterback class, and a domino that could fall, Baker Mayfield going to Team X, Y, or Z, could impact where some of these quarterbacks go in this 2022 NFL Draft.